We are worried that if not checked, PDP's desperation and dastardly acts are capable of truncating the peace and, of course, derailing our democracy in Abia State. In the weeks leading up to the last election, that was the one that was held on the 25th of February, PDP members have been spreading hate-filled rhetorics and whipping up clannish sentiments to divide voters and cause disaffection in a bid to set one region of Abia State against another region. And let me at this juncture state that Abia is one, and the attempts to divide the states, the attempts to whip up clannish sentiments, stands condemned. There have been countless occasions where the campaign billboards of opposition parties have been pulled down, and in fact, the state signage agency made it a duty to remove billboards of other political parties even after collecting huge sums as signage permits. The desperation of PDP gave way for unbridled paranoia when the party was roundly defeated and rejected by Abia in the presidential and National Assembly election. The PDP suffered its worst defeat in Abia in history in that election, and having realized that they have been completely ejected and they've lost the trust of the people, the party has now decided to throw caution to the wind and to manufacture every trick in the book of infamy, including violence and mindless rigging, to undermine the integrity of the forthcoming governorship election. One of such plans was the hurried removal of transition chairmen of select local government areas who were only just recently appointed, and replacing them with pliable political warlords who they believe can implement their rigging plan. We are also aware of the movement of strange persons into the state who have been procured to foment trouble in strongholds of the opposition with the intentions to cause violence on the day of election, so that probably those places will be cancelled and elections will not hold in those wards. While we are privy to the clandestine meetings and attempts to corrupt electoral officers and security agencies, the clearest manifestation of PDP's desperation and their evil plot was revealed by the managing director of the Abia State Signage Agency, Mr. Tony Otonye. Mr. Tony Otonye is a ranking member of the PDP from Isialangwa, North Local Government Area, and a staunch supporter of Mr. Oke Ahiwe, the PDP governorship candidate of Abia State. In that video, he threatened that they will behead voters, and when I mean they, he was speaking for the PDP, that they will behead voters and cut off their organs if that is what it will take for the PDP to win. We want the general public to recall that this is typical of PDP's violent gimmicks. In 2015, after the Court of Appeal rightly annulled the fraudulent election that brought Mr. Okezie Ikpeazu, the present governor, to office, the PDP sponsored talks to carry coffins with charms across Abia to intimidate and cow citizens into accepting the illegitimate process that returned Ikpeazu as governor. In the light of the following, our association and group is trying to state as follows. Number one, that Nigeria is a democratic state, and citizens, including those living in Abia, must be allowed to exercise their franchise in line with their conscience and preferences without let or hindrance. We are stating that the chairman of INEC, Professor Mahmoud Yakubu, must caution INEC staff in Abia State not to allow themselves to be corrupted or procured by the PDP to subvert the outcome of the gubernatorial election, as any attempt to do this will be vehemently resisted. That the latest threat coming from PDP and from PDP hirelings is a ploy to intimidate, harass, and cow voters into staying away from the electoral process so that they can have an opportunity to rig the election. I want to use this opportunity to call on all Abians to come out on Saturday, the 18th of March, to come and vote their conscience. Let them not be intimidated by anybody. They have shown on the 25th of February that they are fed up with PDP. They must come and complete what they have started by voting massively for their conscience. Nobody will be allowed to intimidate anybody on Saturday. The security agencies have been put on notice, and they will provide all adequate security required to ensure that we have a hitch-free election in Abia. We are also stating that in the event of violence, in the event of breakdown of law and order, or breach of public peace of any kind on election day, the People's Democratic Party, PDP, the candidate of PDP, Mr. Okeahiwe, should be held responsible. That the security agencies are hereby placed on notice and must take every necessary action to prevent PDP and their hirelings from carrying out their threats to kill voters, suppress voters, or subvert the will of the people. That Abians are ready to pass a verdict on the decades of PDP misrule in Abia on the 18th of March, and no gimmick will deter or intimidate Abians from once again roundly rejecting and ejecting PDP from the governance of our dear state Abia. Every attempt to subvert the wishes and the mandate of Abia will be vehemently resisted using every peaceful and lawful means. We therefore urge Abia citizens to come out in mass and to vote their conscience without fear of intimidation or harassment. Thank you very much.